Hey, what's up, y'all, and welcome to another edition of the Take One Spoilercast. And this one, I will be discussing It Comes at Night. And I have a fairly good amount of stuff to say about this movie. It falls in the range of just false advertisement. I'm not gonna hold back. I mean, this is a spoiler, but um, if you guys have not seen this film, I suggest you check out my review, go see the movie, and then come back here and listen to me talk spoilers about this movie because I will be getting into spoilers. This is a spoiler talk. It's called a spoiler cast for a reason. And so I'm giving you fair warning. If you have seen the movie, continue listening. If you haven't and you just don't give a fuck, continue listening. I'm not going to be responsible if you get spoiled. I'm giving you fair warning. And here we go. So this movie is one of those movies that falls into false advertisement. This is one of the things that I'm not going to get too much into it because I actually want to talk about this subject on a podcast. So I'm going to hold all of my initial thoughts. But basically, the realms come to it is that this is one of those moments where the company that's financing it. I didn't look up what company is behind. I think it's A24, maybe. I don't know, but in any case, so this is one of those cases where the company that's oh my gosh, I can't even think of the word. Financing. There we go. Financing this movie. Got the marketing team to spin the trailers to make it seem like a zombie flick, like it's like a creature, like it's just something out there, like it could have a twist or something of that nature. And when we get to the movie, it's more of a character piece. It's not anything. It's basically everything that has to do with the zombies or even whatever it is, and everything that has to belong with everything that goes with outside is second nature to the character. Now, when I say that, I'm not saying it really too much in a bad way because that was one of the things that did give this movie life. It really did bring this movie from where it could have gone, which is like been a real bad movie. And like that's just danger zone in false advertisement. And like I said, I'm gonna get more into it. I'm trying not to talk too much about that. But if you've seen the trailers, and let's say you're one of those people that's listening to this and you haven't seen the movie but you just want to hear about it, if you have seen the trailers, or just the people who have seen it, then you know that the trailers mislead it to the nth degree because it shows different parts of it and make it seem like it's some type of like creature or something out there, like a monster or something, and it's none of that. This movie is not none of that. It doesn't show what it is. We don't even know what it is or if there is an it. Now, I've heard like a theory on YouTube that someone says that they think it is fear itself, which thinking of it that way, it kind of brings it up. This is one of those movies where I think I have to give it a second look to kind of appreciate it because when you go into this movie, you expect something. You expect it to be what it was from the trailer, and when you see it, it's something totally different. So in a sense, that kind of clouds your judgment, and that's what it did for me. It clouded my judgment because I'm waiting to see a straight horror film or whatever, and it does have a lot of horror elements. Don't get me wrong, it does have a lot of horror elements, but essentially it's a character piece of how these characters interact with each other, and it's kind of 50-50. This movie, that was one of the biggest flaws about it, was that it was just mismarketed as being just this horror film, and it's not really that. And that was one of the things that did really take it down for me. One of the other things was I barely can speak right now, but one of the things that did throw me off was that there are a lot of unanswered questions. There's a lot of things that go past in this movie that go unanswered. And I heard later after seeing the movie that's what the director wanted. He wanted to basically give you a bird's eye view of just you see or you know what the main character knows. And that could work and it can't work. I mean, depending on how you do it. Anything is good just depending on how you do it. And it just didn't really work because when you're going to a movie, you really don't want to see it from, the main character's perspective. If you want to see something from a person's perspective, just go on about your day. It's a lot of stuff you don't know about. There's a lot of unanswered questions. Did this girl really like me? Is my breath stinking? Just stuff like that. You don't know, because, you don't know what other people are thinking. You don't know what other people are saying about you or this and that, blah, blah. And for this movie, it really didn't work because what it was is just, it had layers on top of layers that kind of like made this movie kind of not, what can I say? It had stuff working against it in the beginning to basically deter you away from the movie, and then just having that within it, unanswered questions just took a lot away from it. And it's like you go about this movie like Will's brother. He talks about his brother and all that stuff, and that's it. He's mentioned, but you don't go back to it. You don't find out what happened to his brother. And then another thing, his son Andrew, was he infected? I mean, you can guess, yeah, he was affected, but you don't see it. You really don't see it. And even towards the end of the movie, you don't see, you don't really get to see him because he's inside the room. And then when he's taken out the room or whatever, when, what's his name? I got it written down. I think, when Will was holding the gun, oh my gosh, yeah. I didn't write down the names, so forgive me. I have a bad memory. Forgive me. But, when Will was holding the gun to the main character, Joel Edgerton's character, when he's holding the gun to him, it basically, like, when his wife was holding, Andrew, you see her covering his face. So you can't really see it. I believe that it's something with the eyes or something of that nature. Like, to show that he's showing symptoms and you don't see it. So we don't know whether or not he was infected or, whatever. And so that was just one of the unanswered questions that it was just, why couldn't you just show that to us? And then it's like, what was the infection? It's like, I guess a lot of this movie is up to interpretation. That's basically it. I guess would that be a genre of movie or just, I don't know if you can count it that way, an interpretation film. This is one of those films. It's just an interpretation film. Basically, you put together the pieces, and it's like, what was the infection? I mean, from the beginning when their grandpa is infected, as you can see, he is basically looking zombie, like 28 days later and stuff like that. He's looking, just a infected zombie character. It's just the infected. I guess that would be the name for just creatures that's like 28 days later as compared to George A. Romero zombies like Walking Dead and stuff like that. But in any case, he's infected, but they don't really say what the disease is. And that's one of the things, like, I think it's like something to where it's like we know what the characters know, and the characters, they don't really know what it is. So it was just, I mean, I guess in a sense, a lot of this isn't really like need to know, but it's just certain things that just throw you off. Like, what happened? What is that? You constantly asking questions, and you're getting discouraged because you don't know this. And what killed the dog? I mean, we don't know. We know that the dog goes out barking. It sees something or it senses something, and it basically comes back basically dead and disease ridden with whatever it is. So it's like, what killed it? It just really doesn't have a clear picture of what happened out there. And then it's like, if it's zombies, like, is it something like a crazy amount of just like a horde of zombies, but I mean it just, or infected, put it like that, infected, but we don't get the sense of that. So we don't know how, why. I'm guessing this is a post-apocalyptic time, because they're not visited by many people, and the people that they come across that they don't trust. But there are people in this world, but you don't see anything. You know, in this, like, they keep their doors locked and they be cautious when they go out, but we don't see anything. We don't see not even just one infected person just running around and get shot. You don't see that. So it's more of just interpretation, of just guesswork of what is going on, as well as like, was it yeah, it's like, why couldn't they go out at night? I guess whatever it is, it's kind of like a vampire-ish type thing, but the dog ran out in, you know, the daytime. But I don't know. It just, they just can't go out at night, and that is just, it doesn't answer the question why they can't go out at night. And I already got to the misleading title. The misleading, well, I kind of talked briefly on it, but yeah, the title was misleading. We don't know what it is. That's basically what it is. Like, we just don't know what it is. We don't, and like I said, actually, yeah, I did touch on it in the beginning. I'm tweaking. Like I said, I have a bad memory. But yeah, I mean, it could be, yeah, fear itself, or it could be just, you know, whatever the infection is out there, and I guess it kind of goes with it. But I mean, just looking towards the whole aspect of it being fear itself, it's kind of intriguing to me, only because of the simple fact that when you look at it, it's like they are paranoid throughout the whole film. They are very cautious of people and this and that. So it's kind of like the fear of just being infected. You don't want anything, and it's just the fear of what's out there. I mean, luckily this wasn't those movies that had like one of them dumb twists where it's like a M. Night Shyamalan Village twist, which I'm partial to that. But in any case, I'm not talking about The Village. I'm talking about this. But just thankfully it wasn't one of those movies that just had a twist. But it was like, I mean, that kind of intrigues me, and just, I was like looking at this guy's video, and a lot of the stuff that he was saying made sense and whatnot, but still in the same sense, it had a lot of stuff working against the movie. I think if someone goes into this movie not watching the trailer, this is one of those movies where you don't need to watch the trailer. This is one of the movies that you just stay away from the trailer. And like, if you hear me, if you listening to this and you hear me talking about this movie through like whether it's my regular review or just this review, just don't look at the trailer. That's all I can say. Just don't look at the trailer if you haven't seen it, and you just, you know, like I said, don't care about spoilers. But just don't look at the trailers. Just interpret it yourself. This isn't really an interpretation film. Like, I mean, and me actually, in a sense, me talking about it right now is getting me more intrigued to watch it again. You know, I don't know, that's crazy. Like, sometimes you can just talk about something and it gets you thinking more into it, and as you think more into it, you're like, maybe, and maybe I need to give it another chance. Maybe I do. Maybe, I mean, it's a lot of movies I need to revisit and give a second chance, maybe. But this movie is like, maybe I need to give it another chance. Maybe I need to look at it through different eyes and just accept it. Like, just throw away what the trailer was, throw away everything that I know already about the movie, and just sit there and focus on what is going on, and just come up with maybe my interpretation of it, or maybe certain things that make sense. Because maybe he had one of those things where a lot of directors do, where they set up questions, but they set up answers throughout it, to where it's like, you probably missed an answer to a question, not through dialogue, but through visuals or something of that nature. Because the whole Andrew, is he infected thing, it's like, just seeing how, you know, they trying to keep Andrew away from Joel Edgerton's character. It's like, if he's not infected, you're not about to sit there and, you know, just hold your son away. You're not about to sit there and be really heavily guarded, trying to get up out of there and all that stuff. Like, you're not about to do that. And so I guess, it's just signs leading to it, but it's more of an assumption because we don't know. It's not confirmed or whatever. But just how the movie ended, where the son eventually ends up dying and from the disease. So I guess you can kind of say that he maybe was infected from the time that he probably was the Andrew. Andrew was the one I'm talking about. Andrew was probably the one that opened up the door, and somehow he got infected. And then when Joe Edgerton's son picked him up and put him up in his mom's room and stuff like that, he got infected from that. And then they got infected. And since Joe Edgerton's son touched him and his mom or whatever, they got infected. So it's like it's a whole revolving door. That's why he ends up dying. And then you get the shot of them sitting at the table, basically like, just kind of waiting to die, just disappointed that they wasn't able to protect their family, that, this and that. And it's like more of a character piece. Like, I swear, like, if you look at this movie, given, like, I would, like, this is one of those movies where I could say I will recommend it for anybody. Like I said before, just don't look at the trailers. Don't look at the posters or anything. Matter of fact, don't even pay attention to the title. Just whatever. Just watch the movie. It's called It Comes at Night. Just watch it or whatever. Whenever it comes on Blu-ray or whatever, if it's already out, I don't think it's already out. Just watch it, and just study it. Just accept it for what it is. It's a character piece. It has horror elements, but this is a character piece. And it's actually a pretty good movie. I mean, Joe Edgerton has shown that he is a great actor, and everybody up in there did phenomenally well. Like, so it's like it's one of those movies where you may go into it liking it, and you might leave out basically you might leave out liking it, or you might leave out hating it. I mean, it's whatever. And one of the things that I didn't catch, but I've heard from other reviewers and stuff, is that this is one of the reasons why I want to go back and actually watch it, because they were talking about throughout the movie, the son, as you know, he he has a lot of dreams, and in the dreams there is a certain score that plays during the dream, and so usually during his dreams there are nightmares. And he mentions that throughout the film, or he mentions that in the film, and he always wakes up and stuff like that. And so at the end, when Joe Edgerton's character is killing Will and his family and stuff, you hear that same music playing. So it's like, damn, your nightmares are coming to fruition. Your worst, the worst thing is coming to life. And that, to me, like, I'm really intrigued by directors and what they do. I'm really intrigued by that, how they put little, or I ain't even gonna say just directors. I don't know if directors or just writers have a sense in that, but just a filmmaker, what they do, how they put certain stuff in there, certain hints of certain things, whether it's like a certain thing about someone's life to where you can get it visually rather than through dialogue, or stuff like like how I just said, like when he's asleep, there's a certain type of music that play, but then at that last scene when Will and his family are getting murdered, it's like that same music is playing. So it says a lot. Like, I love stuff like that. I love little stuff like that. Of course, I'm not going to catch every single one of them, but still in the same sense, I just love the little tricks that certain, that directors do and all this stuff, or just filmmakers do when they're making a film and stuff like that. And it brings more to the film. It makes you, like, when you watch it a third time, you catch stuff that you ain't catch the first two times. You watch it the fourth time, you catch it, you catch more stuff that you didn't catch the first three times. So it adds more layers to a movie, and I think this is what this movie is. This movie is one of those movies that I think is going to be underappreciated, because a lot of people may watch the trailer. It's what it is. You're going to watch the trailer just to see what you're getting into. It's like a little taste. You're not about to go to Baskin Robbins and just were like, I'm gonna get that new coconut swirl with the strawberry banana twist without actually tasting it. You know, if it's something new that hasn't been made, you want to see what it tastes like. You know, that might sound good to you. You want to get a little taste, and that's what a trailer is. You want to taste and see what it is. And this movie was kind of like, you get a taste like, this tastes good. Let me get that up in like the little container, the pints and stuff. You get it in a pint, take it home. It tastes totally different. It tastes like, in this case, it's like, it's still good, but it doesn't taste as good as it did in the store. And it's not because of just your perception from the little taste that they gave you. It's just, it tastes different, you know. And just be warned, if you listen to this and you haven't seen this movie, don't watch the trailer. I cannot stress that enough. Do not watch the trailer. Just go into this movie and just watch. Just watch. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, then you don't. That's just what that movie is. But this movie, I feel like, is going to be underappreciated just because of the marketing and because of the unanswered questions. Like, I mean, some people may like that because it brings more mystery and brings more interpretation and more guessing to like the things, so where you can come up with your own conclusions and you can put the pieces together as you want. And other people might be like, man, ain't nobody got time for that. You know, I just want to watch a movie. Tell me if Andrew was infected. Tell me if it was a zombie or whatever that killed the dog. Tell me what it is. You know, why can't they go at night? Why does it come at night? Why can't it come in the morning time? You know, like, tell stuff like that. You know, like, I mean, some people are like that. Some people are like that. But with me, I am kind of one of those people that do want to know a lot, but at the same time, I appreciate the other stuff. So this movie, this is one of those movies where I think I have to maybe go back on my initial score. I'm looking here. I gave it a 6. As the movie was interpreted by me going into the film, I will give it a 6 because my whole perception of it was misconstrued through the marketing or mismarketing from even just from the posters all the way to the trailers. And from that, I give it a 6. But as a character piece, as just what the film is, I mean, I guess you could say this is cheating, but it's not. I would say if you go into it without knowing anything about it, you just watch it, you probably would give it, I would say maybe about an 8. You know, at the most. I say 8 at the most. So jump 2 scores if you don't watch it without that. Because, you know, when you think about it, you get more intrigued into it, and that's basically what it is. Anything else I need to talk about? Yeah, I think that's it. That is it. Okay. Yeah. That is about it. So this concludes this Take One spoiler cast of the movie It Comes at Night. I encourage you guys to, if you've seen it or if you haven't seen it, you're one of those people that's listening to this right now, you don't care about spoilers. I've said it several times, as you heard me recently just say it. Like, if you've seen it, rewatch it. If you haven't, watch it and just look at it for, just accept it for what it is. Just give it another chance, or just give it a chance, and just let it go through you. Just sit there and watch the film. Don't expect anything. Don't take anything. Don't take anything as far as like what the marketing is and whatever. Just watch it, and then just see if you get another take on it. Because I feel like with a movie like this movie will probably be appreciated the next time you watch it. If not, then just throw it to the side and just go on about your life. Watch another movie. But yeah. So this is the end. And I will catch you guys next time on the next spoiler cast. Peace.